All right, let's dive into your body's internal alarm system. Today, we're going to unpack the two key hormones that are basically running the show when it comes to stress. We're talking about your reaction to everything from a sudden shock to that day in, day out pressure. And it all comes down to two players, adrenaline and cortisol. I mean, you know the feeling, right? That heart-pounding moment before a big presentation, or just that drained feeling after a really long, stressful day. We all feel it. But what is actually going on inside on a chemical level? What is all that stress really doing to your body? So it turns out our bodies have this super sophisticated alarm system, and it's got one single mission, to keep you alive. This whole system, it's pretty much run by two main chemical messengers. And here they are, the big two, cortisol and adrenaline. You've probably heard them called stress hormones. Basically, they're a team, and their job is to get your body ready to respond to any kind of perceived threat or danger. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter if the danger is real or if it's just something you're thinking about. Okay, so let's start with adrenaline. You can think of this one as the hero of the story, the fight-or-flight hero. It's your body's first responder, the one that kicks in for immediate, sudden action. So, to really get a feel for this, just imagine it. You're just walking down the street, minding your own business, and then bam, out of nowhere, this big dog starts chasing you. Instantly, your body's alarm system just goes haywire. And here's what happens in that split second. First, adrenaline just floods your entire system. Then, your heart rate and your breathing just go through the roof, forcing all this oxygen to your muscles. And what's the result? You are suddenly running faster than you have ever run in your life. That is the incredible power of adrenaline. It's that instant, massive boost you need to escape danger right now. Okay, so you've escaped the dog, you're safe. But what happens then? Well, that's where our second hormone comes into play. Let's talk about cortisol. This is the long-term stress manager, and its job is totally different from that lightning-fast rush of adrenaline. Honestly, the best way to remember the difference is with this analogy. Think of adrenaline as the sprinter. It's all about short, incredibly powerful bursts to get you out of immediate trouble. Cortisol, on the other hand, that's your marathon runner. It's long-acting, it's about sustained readiness, keeping your body on a low-level alert for the long haul. So when things are working right, cortisol has this really cool natural rhythm. It actually follows the 24-hour clock. Your levels will peak around 8 a.m. That's what helps you wake up and feel alert. Then, throughout the day, they slowly drop, hitting their lowest point around midnight, which helps you rest. Then, overnight, it starts to rise again, getting you ready for the next day. It's a pretty neat system. Now, this whole system is brilliant for escaping a dog or just waking up in the morning. But what happens when the alarm bells never turn off? What if that stress response is just stuck in the on position? Well, that's when the whole system goes into a really dangerous overload. The thing is, our bodies just aren't built to handle being flooded with these hormones, especially cortisol, for long stretches of time. It's literally like having an emergency alarm blaring in your house 24/7. It's exhausting and it's damaging. So, what's the real problem with having too much cortisol all the time? Well, the physical damage is pretty staggering, actually. We're talking about things like high blood pressure and high blood sugar, which puts you at a much higher risk for heart disease and diabetes. It makes your body store fat, especially around your waist. It even slows down wound healing, reduces your muscle mass, and, get this, it literally makes you age faster. And it's not just your body. Your brain takes a massive hit too. When cortisol is chronically high, it messes with your ability to regulate your emotions. It hurts your memory, it makes it harder to learn new things, and it even increases your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. It's serious stuff. So this leads to the million-dollar question, right? Most of us aren't being chased by dogs every day, so what on earth is causing all this chronic stress? The answer is actually pretty surprising, and it's a lot more subtle than you might think. It's kind of like a ghost in the machine. This quote right here, this is the key to the whole puzzle. The body reacts as if the danger is real, even when there is no real danger. Think about that. Even when there is no real danger. So what does that mean? It means the biggest, most common trigger for that damaging, nonstop release of cortisol, it isn't something outside of you. It's not a dog, it's not your boss, it's internal. It's your own thoughts. Let me break down exactly how this happens. It's all about mental habits.
Think about it. Constant worrying, always imagining the worst case scenario, replaying arguments or problems over and over in your head. The thing is, your brain cannot tell the difference between a threat you're vividly imagining and one that's actually happening. And so your body just does its job. It releases cortisol, and you are officially in a state of physical stress.
And all of this brings us to one last really important question for you to think about. When we hit a rough patch or things keep going wrong, it's so easy to just say, oh, I'm just unlucky. But after everything we've talked about, with this powerful link between mind and body, you have to ask yourself, are you really just unlucky? Or could it be that a state of constant stress, a state triggered by your own thoughts, is actually playing a huge role in shaping your reality? It's a pretty powerful idea to sit with.